Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. It is Wednesday. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Next week, football is here. We have been previewing a little bit on the show. Obviously, we've showed you some media day interviews. We've had Dan Gallagher. We've had Max and one more, Josh. We've had Josh Brigette on as well. So we've been counting down, and it is officially here. Other high school sports begin this week. Boys soccer and volleyball. Photo galleries on our website this week now at jtv.tv. Also returning this week, our Center for Family Health scoreboard. So all the daily sports from all the area sports. And, of course, high school football kicks off next week. Jackson going right down Michigan Ave, or the highway, whatever way they want to take, to go to Parma to take on the Western Panthers. Going to be a great game. Going to be a rematch from a one-point playoff game at Jackson High between these two schools from just 3 years ago. Whether you were for one school or not, it was a controversial ending, but it was a great game. So it's going to be a great non-conference rematch to open the season. So we'll be in Parma, Jackson Western, live on JTV. So next Thursday, the 28th, 6:45 p.m. with myself, Josh Brigette, Pat O'Dowd, and Max Fritz on the sidelines. And also with the other high school sports beginning this week, subscribe to JTV Sports, subscribe to more than one school or your favorite school for free, and you'll get you'll get a weekly newsletter sent to your email address with all of your school's happenings. Coming up on the show today, Dan Gallagher, JTV Sports commentator, will be joining the show. We had quite a lengthy discussion that went all over. We talked a lot high school football. We talked a little bit officiating, quite a few things. So looking forward to showing you guys that. And we have a couple more football preseason media day interviews we'll show you before the start of the season. So today, head coach Troy Allen and the Michigan Center Cardinals will be joining the show as well. So we've got a lot to get to. Dan Gallagher will join us after this. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Joining us now on the show as we get closer to JTV's 26th season of high school football, sports commentator, the legend, Dan Gallagher.
Hello,
Thanks, Dan.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, David.
Yeah, how's the summer going?
Summer's going. I've got bad news. Got hurt at work. Hurt the rotator cuff.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna need surgery. I think that's what that phone call was. Is the scheduler?
Somebody called him right before we went on and didn't know who it was. He told me before the show. He's like, yeah, he was Austin was gonna go for the shake, but he can't lift.
I gotcha.
The rotator.
Oh.
Yeah.
So do you know if that requires like surgery?
Yeah,
or?
6 weeks in a sling and then rehab, big time rehab after that.
Oh, no. Yeah. So you probably use most of your summer or vacation and time in the winter, right? You enjoy the summer here on the lake?
Well, yeah, we live on vacation in the summer and then we take vacations in the winter. We go where it's warm.
So it's year-round vacation?
Yes. We're busy with our VRBO that we have next door to us on Alcott Lake.
Yeah.
Can I pitch it?
Sure. Go ahead. Hey, if we're looking for more sponsors, more ads for the show.
Right.
There
you go to VRBO or Airbnb, and it's I think it's called Lake House on Alcott Lake, or the name of the house is Morningwood.
Yeah. I forgot about that too. You told me for the show.
Amazing.
Thumbs up. No, I'm excited. JTV's 26th season of high school football coming up. This will be. Do you know what year this will be?
I think I heard you just say 20. Oh. 8. Maybe.
8.
How many for you?
This will be. Well, I started in basketball So,
But it was the same year.
same school year.
Yeah.
So it'll be 8th basketball season, so 7th football season for me.
It's probably the same for me. Maybe I have one more. Do you know, Adam?
I have no idea.
I started doing games before he even started working here.
He started 1 year before me, so yeah. Isn't that
He was
crazy?
a 9th grader.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I'm excited for it. We've got a really good game week 1. Jackson High, Western. We just had Max on, too. Yesterday we were talking to him. That's going to be, it's like 2 of the 3 biggest schools in the area, Jackson High and Western. So it's going to be a packed house, going to be a decent game. Both teams interested to see how they do this year. And then we were just talking before the show about Napoleon and Columbia for this year. I expect another good year from Napoleon. I was really surprised at how well they did last year, to be honest with everybody, because they lost all those skill players, their track stars and the receivers.
They completely switched their offense once they lost those that track star and their quarterback. I wonder if did he go to U of M?
Yep, he's playing baseball for U of M.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, that's good. So it was pretty neat because they Coach Shell for Napoleon just completely dropped everything, and all he did was run the ball. Remember that? What game was it? They controlled the ball.
Grass Lake.
Oh,
Napoleon.
and they beat him, and they beat Grass Lake at Napoleon. And that was one of the coolest games I think I've ever done.
Yeah,
they didn't throw the ball one time.
And
nope.
It's like if you can do that, that's just they just ran the ball, ran the clock out. It was just a masterclass of running the ball.
There was,
it was great.
nothing Grass Lake could do. Nothing they could do.
They were losing going into the 4th quarter. They full house tee it, run the ball, the whole play clock too.
Yeah.
That's what's with the more time. Take up the whole play clock, and then they ran the ball all the way, almost the entire 4th quarter till that last drive.
The only way that kind of offense doesn't work is if you turn the ball over.
Right.
If you get down never turned it over.
If you get down early, that's tough. That's tough to try to run the ball and still keep the clock. But I mean, it's impossible if you're down 2 scores to them, and they're just going to run out the clock. So it's so hard to stop.
I don't think there were any punts either that game.
No.
That's right. That's right.
That's something I didn't notice either.
I was gonna say I was a little distracted that game because that was the day that the Tigers clinched the playoffs. So I was a little busy as I was.
Oh yeah, I remember. We're in the middle. I don't know what quarter it was, and I look outside the window. Adam's with the camera, at the phone here.
You guys were asking me for updates as we were going along. It was good.
Yeah. How are they doing?
Game.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Tigers?
Yeah. Well, no, it's reaching out the window. How are the Tigers doing?
You guys
What's
were
happening?
asking me. You were like, "Hey, what's the score?" Like in halftime and stuff. Yeah, it was funny.
But no, it's just the way, and not like that next year too. They were not only able to switch the offense, but do it well. You know, if you're gonna switch something, I wouldn't expect a team to do it that well first year with it. You know what I mean? Right away.
Right.
Yeah.
It was interesting too because they'd control the ball for 8 to 12 minutes each drive, and then Grass Lake would get the ball and they'd score right away, and then they needed some turnovers to win that game.
Well, I think Grass Lake's going to run the ball more this year too. They've been known even when I was in school for spread. They just air raid. They throw the ball 40 times a game, if not throw the ball every play. Because some games they did that, unfortunately. But they lost a lot of their skill players too coming into this year. Lape graduated. He's playing football now for Northwood.
Oh, is he?
Yep. And then
Stamper.
Yeah, Stamper from Jackson High, also playing football for Northwood.
No kidding.
So, yep. So they lost him. They lost a couple of receivers. Their running back won't be playing on the team this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Grass Lake, maybe not full house, but if they run the ball more too. They have some experience on the line coming back. I know that's something you've always wanted to highlight since you've started here at JTV was guys up front.
Yeah, never.
And that was
nobody ever talks about the big guys. You know?
Well, and that was
the
the
most
biggest
important players on the field.
They are.
You know?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing in that Napoleon game was create those gaps, and then the run will work, and they can take up more of the clock.
Yeah, they've never had any huge runs. It was like 4, 5 yards, 4 or 5 yards every single play. It was It must have been so frustrating for Grass Lake.
I was going to say, that's harder to play against. I'd almost rather have them break a big run, but it's just like you get so tired, and then if Grass Lake takes the ball or whoever takes the ball and they don't do much with it, and then you're right back out on the field again, and then you have to face that again. That's so tough.
It was.
Well,
it was fun, though.
Yeah.
I ran the flex bone full house against you, and you did.
That's right.
Like
I got to
that.
learn how to stop that.
Yeah. We were playing the
Madden.
NCAA,
The college football
the
one.
college
Yep.
game, for our Christmas episode. So I was playing against them, and I only ran the Army offense with the wing
It was
and
so
the three backs.
infuriating.
They only run the ball, right? They don't
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pass maybe 2 or 3 times a game.
Yeah.
But it's all either QB, keeper, option, or pitch.
Did Lou Holtz coach Army?
Was it Notre Dame that he coached?
Well, yeah,
I
he did
think?
coach
But
Notre
he
Dame.
might
I
have
know
coached
that.
Let me look that up. I'm
And
curious.
then I know he coached at William and Mary. I think that was his first college coaching job. Because I have a neighbor down the street from me on the lake, and he was on one of those teams.
Oh, nice.
Paul, shout out to Paul.
Yeah.
Paul Gezzi.
Yeah, there you go. Couple of storylines going into this season. We have 2 new head coaches in our area. Western's got a new coach, Cody Bentley. He was their defensive coordinator for the last 4 or 5 years, so now he's taken over. So I expect Western to still have a good year. They'll have a really big game, like I mentioned earlier, against Jay High Week 1, and then East Jackson has a whole new coaching staff, so that'll be interesting too. Their numbers are coming up, and they said at Media Day, look, it's not going to be, a turnaround year 1, because it's not like that for any team.
Right.
But if the numbers keep going up and kids want to play, that's there you go.
Yeah.
I can't think of a team that's lost so much so often, and they say the same thing. The whole thing's got to change there. You know what they need to do is probably tear down the school and build a new one. Just start over completely. But I do tell you.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that, but
Well,
yeah.
I'm kidding about that, but it's got to be that extreme. Something's got to happen because they just lose all the time.
Total rebuilding effort
kind
of thing. Yeah.
Their football facility though is for natural grass is.
They've got
best.
a nice field.
Yeah,
They
they
have
do.
the nicest field.
They've got a nice gym too for basketball.
They do,
They've got
yeah.
a nice football field.
They just need to start winning some games, and it's probably really hard to get players to even come out for the football team because it's same old kind of
Right.
deal for them.
Do we have
It's sad.
do we have an answer on that?
Looks like not Army, but
Navy?
he was William and Mary,
Yeah.
NC State, and then he went to the New York Jets, and then Arkansas Razorbacks, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and then the Gamecocks of South Carolina.
Wow, he's had a lot.
He was at a lot of schools, but
Man, that's-
obviously most known for Notre Dame. Everybody, I think, knows Lou Holtz Notre Dame. But
I didn't know he coached at like 8 different.
yeah, I didn't know that either. I
Places.
was surprised.
Well, another old coach, Lee Corso.
Yeah.
He's retiring from College Game Day after the first week. He's doing one more headgear
Yep.
pick. Then he's retiring. He coached at Navy, I think, because was watching the ESPYs and they did a tribute to him, and they had some old footage of him coaching Navy way back.
That's
And
cool.
I knew he coached Indiana, I think it was, but.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So 2 new head coaches in area for high school. And then Lumen Christi, we talked about it with Max yesterday too. The toughest schedule I think they've had to start the year since I've been here.
We always say that.
That's
Well,
what
no.
I said. That's so funny. I said that same thing.
But Lumen only has 1 starter coming back on offense, 1 offensive lineman
No
coming
kidding.
back. And then so all new quarterback, running back, skill players, and half their defense will be new. But their first 3 weeks, week 1, they're at Montini Catholic, which is in Chicago. They're playing the defending Illinois state champion.
Oh boy.
First week. And they have a quarterback who's top 5 recruit in the country. So they're going to go spread all over the their defense. Week 2, they're playing Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, who's the D5 champ from last year. Lumen was D6. Those two teams played last year. Pontiac scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and beat them. And then they're playing a team that made the semis in D5, Grand Rapids Catholic, week 3. And we'll have that game on JTV. So it'll be interesting, but we say the same thing each,
Is it Grand Rapids Catholic Central?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And don't they have a fairly new stadium you can see right off the expressway?
Yes. Yes, I have seen
I've never
that.
been inside, but looking at it from the
can't
outside.
imagine. It's probably awesome.
Yeah. Amazing.
Some of those stadiums in the Grand Rapids area, more towards the lake, are ridiculous. And a few of the new ones that they've built, too. I think, don't hold me to it, I'm pretty sure, I'll have to look it up, after Hudsonville, I think, their field is just unbelievable. And then Muskegon, the Big Reds, they've got the red turf.
Do they?
Yeah, that's probably one of my...
hot.
More teams need to do that. I've seen, what was it, Eastern? There was a team that did like a black turf, and it's like, that's a horrible idea, because it's just like, it's just going to attract all the heat. I just feel like it would be terrible, but Boise State is the coolest. That blue, yeah, it's so cool.
I feel like they don't think about that when they do that. They just
Sometimes they
Well, how
don't.
come we do?
Yeah, right?
Right. Well, we have, I don't think more teams need to do turf. To be honest with you, the studies have too. The turf is more dangerous than the natural grass. You can't plant, your foot in, you twist your foot, ankle, whatever it might be. We've seen more injuries on the turf than...
But the turf now is like infinitely better than like the greatest show on turf what they were using. Yeah, and the Silver Dome. I can't imagine those kids.
J High.
Yeah, look at Jay High's field compared to like what the Silver Dome used to be. And I can't imagine the kids going from all of the natural grass fields to then going to the Silver Dome for the big game, and it's just like...
Must have hated it.
Oh, it must have been terrible. But now you go to Ford Field, and it's just like you're kind of used to playing on turf for some of these schools.
I was a football official for years, and I did a playoff game at J High before they had the new turf. Mm-hmm. It was just flat, and I was the umpire. I'd set the ball down, and it would start to roll.
Oh,
it would roll one way or the other.
Oh man,
it was that hard.
Did they have turf then, or was it grass?
No, it was cement and then like carpeting, indoor-outdoor carpeting.
Oh,
it was horrible.
That is tough. Yeah, and I can't imagine trying to ref on something like that. What years did you end up? Were you a ref?
Well, I started 8 years ago. Was my last year.
Okay, gotcha. What was that like? Like, I'm just curious. I know it must be incredibly hard, but also extremely rewarding as well.
Oh, it was really neat. It's what kept getting me to go back every single year, and just being on the field with those young men was quite an honor. But we had a blast. We had the same crew pretty much the whole time, and when they switched from 5-man to 7-man, that changed everything.
Really?
Yeah, it bought me a few more years because I didn't have to run as far.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, of course.
Running my last year was horrible. I was like waddling.
You knew that was it.
Yeah, and everybody knew.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like those NFL players where it's like they're getting 40 something. It's just like, man, I can just tell. I will go out in the field, see all these fast guys. It's like, I can't keep up.
One experience was pretty funny. This game I was a linesman, so I was on the line of scrimmage, and then down further about 15 yards is the new refs. The deep field judge type thing. There was a turnover. A pass turnover. So now I got to start running the opposite way, and I got passed by the other ref. He slaps me on the butt and starts laughing when he goes by me.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I knew it was the end was near.
Yeah.
That was it then. I quit.
Yeah. Right. No mas.
Turned your whistle in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I know, we know what it's like for the players to get ready for the season right around this week. Last week they have Dead Week was last week, and then this week they started practice. They had the midnight practice in camp. What's it like for an official or for the referees to prepare? Do they do anything to prepare like the players do? You get ready for the season, not like the players with
Right.
their
Well, you're
conditioning
thinking about it all summer, and you think, well, maybe I should start walking a little bit. Maybe I should start running. Maybe I should drink a little bit less. That kind of stuff.
That'll probably help.
Right. And then we always start out the year because they have scrimmages the week before the season starts,
Right.
and they're all over the state. So that was our first Ben Gay experience.
So you guys actually get like your own preseason.
Yeah, we get together and you got to go through the MHSAA, and they set the games and they set the people with the games, and then they're the ones that choose who does playoff games and state finals and things like that. So it's quite a big deal.
How bad was the heckling from the crowd?
Not at all.
Really? Okay, good.
Nope.
Good.
Nope,
That's awesome.
not at all. But it's not like basketball.
That's what I was about to say. It's a little different than when you're in
We
a
got a
gym
whole
so
track.
close. Yeah.
We got a track, and they're up there. It's not too bad.
Good.
Well, especially in the middle, it's not too bad. But when you get down, the 10-yard line,
You start hearing some
you
things.
can hear people. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because the student sections are normally on the end of the bleachers.
Yes, you're right.
So towards the end zones, you hear a little bit
You
more.
start hearing some stuff.
Although you
it's
don't
really
hear
not
it.
bad.
Yeah.
Not
Although
bad.
you don't hear it as well, though, even like on a couple games where I've been off from the booth and I've gone out and shot highlights, done whatever. I really, and maybe that's just at a couple schools I've been to with that, but there's a big gap though between the field and the sideline and the track. I can hear people yelling, obviously, but I'm too far away though with the track there, so I don't know what they're saying. So
Yeah.
that's
Right.
probably helps.
The
them.
track is a nice buffer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to do postseason games?
Oh, I did probably 25 postseason games, but
Wow.
I never did a semi, and I never did a finals. Too fat, too slow.
Do they pick the track stars for the state for the state finals?
These guys that I have noticed, the guys that they pick, they're really deserving. They're dedicated like crazy to being good refs, and then also being good mentors to the younger ones coming in. So
They definitely stopped drinking before the start of the season, it sounds like.
well, until after the game.
That's true. Yeah, there you go.
Right, on the ride home, that kind of stuff. Open the
stop-
cooler.
They stop at Aggies,
Oh yeah,
average Joes.
Love that. Love it.
yeah. We definitely would do that.
Well, I know that's you being a Napoleon guy. I know that's a big. Each school has their own thing they do after the game. Grass Lake, they go to Parade's Place.
Yeah.
after
Big
the-
spot.
after the game.
Well, that's just recently because
Yeah.
that place is. I've been there to lunch a couple times.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then Napoleon does the Aggies after the game, and Western, they stay open late on home games for Burkhart's. We get the
Burkhart's is
pizza
so
in the
good.
press box
Yep.
at Western. But any specific teams from last year? Anything you're looking forward to the most? Being back
Well, I
to
was really
doing the games.
I was surprised of Grass Lake, and I was very surprised about Michigan Center last year. But then, at the end of the season, when I thought about it,
Injuries
Michigan
were the-
Center was really, really, really young.
Yeah.
And they did quite well. They lost most of their games by, one possession.
And that's with
Yeah.
missing guys, so it's like I'm really thinking this year they're going to turn into a really
Yeah,
good
they
team.
really caught the
That's
injury.
what I'm thinking, too.
Yeah.
They caught the injury bug really early on and just couldn't overcome that. And they finished 4-5 still. And some of those losses, though, were close. And then Columbia, same thing. They didn't lose. I mean, they had some injuries to some key players, but not as many. But they were 3-6, but they lost 4 games by single digits. They lost both games to Napoleon by under possession.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they say if you lose a game by 7 points or less, it's the coach's fault.
Is that what they say? No
Yeah.
kidding.
Right?
Yeah.
It's coaching. It's because they're pretty well matched up right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The coach might have done a mistake, but if you lose by more than 7, it's not the coach's fault. It's just your team is bad.
Right.
Bad.
Yep.
And those are ugly games to do. We hate doing those games, don't we?
Well, I remember
we pray for like a running clock or something, like when it's so bad, it's just you run out of stuff to say.
Well, we've had some previous announcers. I won't name names, but they wanted a running clock so they could go home. But no, like when we still had both games each week, the live game and then the other game.
Yeah.
It's the other game because it was still Joel was still with us, Missy Joel. Joel and Josh did the live game. So me and you and Pat, whoever, would do the second game. And we would get some games that were just
And then brutal. That those games would be like 28 points, and it would just be stuck there.
Yeah, right.
You know
or
that's
34.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like they'd go for 2, and it's like, what are you doing? No, they miss the extra point. You're like, no.
It's already over. You don't need to go for 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So week 1, live on JTV Thursday, August 28th, we'll have Jackson going to Parma to take on Western. That's going to be a big crowd, and that's going to be interesting.
Fun atmosphere.
Because we were talking with Max about who our early predictions, and I couldn't really come up with that.
To me, that game is so close when you look at those two teams. I feel like I could see it
Well,
go
Jackson,
either way.
remember last year, Jay High started 4-0, and then they lost the last 5. We did that game against Chelsea last year, and they got blanked here, 35-0, and that was really the start of.
They imploded. They just
the
momentum just right from the beginning was like bad.
With the players coming back, I just hope that they recognize that, and now that they've experienced it, it's hopefully that won't happen going into this year. They won't have any of those bad stretches, because in baseball you can have those bad stretches. In football, that's the end of your season if you have a stretch like that. You know?
Right. Real quick before we go, back to the officiating. Now, throughout last year, we, on occasion, not every week, I'll be honest, but some weeks, me and I think Josh, too, we would watch these officiating videos that they have online each week that they do.
Yeah.
And that's been key for different teams. Like, okay, I know going into this game, like Napoleon, I know we're going to see more running the ball. All the plays, all the penalties are going to be right in, bunched in. How do officials handle that each week going into it? Like, okay, I know this team, if you know their team, they're going to throw the ball. You know, you're going to see more action on the sidelines and up and down, but like full house, it's all in the middle. How do officials handle like the different types of, style offense?
To me and to us, a game is a game is a game. They're a game, and they have to be officiated, like a game should be officiated. But then sometimes the game can get out of control because of turnovers, chippiness, and things like that. So then you have to, hyper focus on what's going on, in the middle or on the sideline or whatever, And a lot of times it's the coach that, not the head coach, but an assistant coach that wants to think he's the head coach and tries to get in your ear and all that kind of stuff. But to answer your question, we know going into it, that they're 7-1 and the other team is 0-8. We know going into it what it's going to be like. So, but we still go referee, officiate the game as if it was a state championship game.
Week 1, Jackson Western. Week 2, we've got Columbia at Michigan Center. And week 3, Grand Rapids Catholic Central at Lumen Christi. That is going to be a lot of fun those first 3 weeks. The whole season is going to be fun.
Oh, I'm excited.
Looking forward to it.
Do you have a second about Detroit Lions?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I always want to hear about the Lions.
Okay, because here's my prediction this year, and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
I think they're going to
lose to Washington in
they're
the
going to win
playoffs.
10. They're only going to win 10 games. I'm telling you. And they're going to sneak in, just barely sneak into the playoffs.
The playoffs? Wow. You don't see a clear division title?
I can see what you're saying.
Sneaking in and then winning the Super Bowl that way. Where last year everybody thought they were going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of teams historically that have done that. But I mean, you look at their schedule. I think of the ratings of the hardest schedules, they're could be number 1 or number 2. They have a really tough schedule, so they might have a tough regular season. I don't even know. I think it will be like previous years where the division's going to come down to the final game. I don't see this being a runaway for anybody in the North.
Yeah.
But, we could sneak in as a wild card. I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah, the schedule.
And I don't think, Adam, that in our division there's going to be teams that have won 13, 14, 15 games all the same season. I think it's all going to be bunched up around 10.
Yeah.
Well, we know the Bears aren't going to even win 10 games.
Bears.
They got a new coach. He came from Detroit.
That's the thing. If that turns in, if he turns that offense into like what we had, it's going to be a little dangerous. But I still think that's probably the weakest team of the division.
But the Vikings will be interesting because how is J.J. McCarthy going to do coming back from the injury, too?
And, it's football. One injury could derail an entire season. If Jordan Love gets hurt and he's out for the year and Malik Willis doesn't look impressive, then Green Bay's going to be out of it. We've seen that in years past with Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that.
He broke his collarbone like 700 times in his career with Green Bay.
That's what makes football.
Hey, that's right. We had Matt Flynn as our backup. You remember the legend of Matt Flynn?
Well, he went to the Detroit too, I think, didn't he?
I think
Flynn played in Detroit.
Do you remember that game where he came in and I think if we won,
Rodgers
we were going to win the division if we beat the Packers and we were against Flynn, and I remember being so confident, like, they don't have Rodgers, it's not going to be tough. He just
tore him up.
He pieced us up. It was
he scored like 5 or 6 touchdowns. Rodgers got hurt the week before.
I just remember watching it just with my jaw on the floor, like, are you kidding me? I can't believe this happened.
Before I forget, is Hooker going to be off the team?
He's still on there, but it's like you looked at the preseason, and Kyle Allen, who originally was on the Panthers.
I've never heard of him before.
He tore it up. I think he was like 7 for 10 or something with like 100-something yards. So he did really good, but Hooker might ended up being third string on our team, which is crazy because when we drafted him, I was kind of thinking like that was a smart pick in my eyes at that time. But now you're looking at it, and it's like, all right, maybe it's time to
maybe he's
get
worth
rid of
something.
him. That's
to
what
trade.
I'm thinking, but it's like the only teams have only seen him in preseason, and he hasn't done much in preseason. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, Lions' schedule here, week 1, they're at Green Bay. I think we might be going to that game. I'm not sure yet. That's 4:30. But then week 3 at Baltimore, Monday night, and then week 5 at Cincinnati. They didn't have a good record last year. But
I'm going to that game. I got tickets.
You're going to Cincinnati for that? Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be a good game against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and them. And then they have the Bengals and then Chiefs back-to-back weeks at Kansas City on Sunday night. But you remember last time they played the Chiefs at Arrowhead, though, in prime time.
Yep.
So Chiefs and then Vikings, Commanders, Eagles in that stretch there.
What a schedule. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And then
at least that's for the whole NFC North. They all share those other teams that they have to face, so they're going to be in the thick of it just like us. So.
Yeah. So that's why I predicted 10 wins at the most.
Yeah.
Well, Green Bay has Washington week 2, so we play them a lot earlier than the Lions do, and that's a Thursday night too against Washington at their place.
Yep.
So And Jordan Love may not even play week 1 against the Lions. He's having a procedure on his torn ligament in his thumb, so on his throwing hand too. So he may not be available. I swear, if we start the year with Malik Willis, and we already have 4 of our 6 receivers on the depth chart right now that are out or hurt during the preseason.
You guys are looking like the Lions at the end of last season, where it's just like, how many guys were we missing?
Yeah, they were on third stringers.
Yeah.
And they still did great.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I know. Yeah. They ran into a hot Washington team. That was the only thing that
I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting it at all. Yeah, that was one of those games where I was sitting there, and it's just like I saw it starting to develop, and I'm just like, I cannot believe the season's going to end like this.
I mean, I'm not going to say I knew going in that was going to happen. I'm not saying that. But I knew Washington was a good team, but not to that, because the Lions were just so dominant.
Not beating the Lions at home. I mean, that was the other
on
thing
their
too.
home field in the postseason, the way the Lions have played that year. Insane. And then Washington just wasn't on that level with their quarterback either.
Yeah.
And then they just go in there and you see it, like you said, especially late in the first half, they're up a couple scores, and then you start to feel like this is actually not at all what anybody expected to happen.
Yeah.
And then they go and then they get killed by Philly.
Well, I think everybody was going to... Philly was one of those teams last year where it's like, I don't know, even if we got past Washington, if we would have gotten past Philly.
Did they sneak in?
Philly? No, Philly won the division. It was Washington that kind of... Yeah. Washington kind of snuck in there, but, I mean, Philly was so dominant. Saquon was nasty.
All right, well...
That's my dog's name, Barkley.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
really?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Named after Saquon?
No, I don't think so.
I doubt it. Barkley.
26.
The kids call him Broccoli because they can't say his name. Come here, Broccoli.
Does he respond to that or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, he's a black lab, so he's a good baby.
Our 26th season of high school football on JTV kicking off Thursday, August 28th. JTV sports commentator Dan Gallagher. Dan, as always, appreciate it.
It's always fun, too. Thanks.
We'll be right back on JTV. David Rice here for JTV Sports as we continue our 2025 JTV Football Media Day coverage. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Joining the show now, head coach of the Michigan Center Cardinals, Troy Allen. Coach, appreciate the time. 4-5 last year, lost by 1 to Hanover, lost by 2 to Leslie. You beat Grass Lake, one of Center's biggest rivals, but only losing by 1 and 2 to the two teams that made the Cascades Championship. I know 4-5 isn't what you wanted, but just overall quick thoughts on last season.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned that, it haunts me a little bit, but I think what it does is it makes you a little bit more. You try not to be this way, but you think of the what ifs. Really close. Kind of had some unfortunate injuries in both those games that, I think change the dynamics. But with that being said, they were two really good football teams. But I think it showed that we could have been really good too if maybe some things had worked out a little differently, and it didn't. And I've been there and done that. I've been very fortunate to have injury-free seasons, and then you get a tough one like last year. But on the positive, it forces some kids that maybe weren't prepared at that moment to get a little more opportunity, and it helps grow the future of the program. So I think if there's anything real positive to take out of last year, it's that we have some kids that got a ton of experience that are coming back.
How are the numbers looking?
The numbers are pretty good. We're generally 30 on varsity. We'll have 31 on our JV. A couple kids that'll maybe sprinkle a little bit of time, but I think 30 players, and I'd say of that 30, it's a very strong number that'll be contributors. So,
you had, as you mentioned, quite a few, because of some of the injuries, quite a few kids who sprinkled in some playing time, especially towards the end of the year. But with the entire offensive line coming back, though, 7 to 8 on both sides, that's going to feel pretty good for you and the coaching staff, right, coming into this season.
Absolutely, because I think one thing at Michigan Center, I've been fortunate, as a head coach, but even, when I was assistant to JV coaches, we've always had skill players. We just always have. Up front has been a little bit more of an issue. So to kind of see that as one of the strengths of this year's team is really nice, because, when it's all said and done, that is what either leads to success or not, is how does up front, how does that pan out?
Right. Each team might have a few guys coming back each year, but each team and each year is different. Mm-hmm. What's it been like working with these guys so far in this group?
Well, the thing that I really enjoy about this group is that it's rare you find, somebody that's super passionate about football, loves the game. You just don't always find, the kids that feel the same way. The more kids you have that match that and feel strongly about it is a good thing. And this is just a very passionate group that wants to be successful. I think one of the flaws of this group, which, can be a positive is that they're just so competitive. They're almost overly competitive with themselves at times, which can struggle to kind of build that team. That's our focus. But I definitely love the vibe. I love our senior leadership. I think that's what helps with, your success a lot of times falls on what your senior class look like from a leadership standpoint, experience. And that's one thing that is going to be really nice for us. We got a very large senior class, and they all care, and they want to be successful, and they're hungry.
So as we were, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but about the injuries last season, that was a big topic on this show because we were like, this team is really good, but it's just they're getting hit with the injury bug. What do you think, what have you guys done, or is there a way to prepare for something like this, or to try to find a way to prevent injuries like this happening?
Honestly, for last season, no. It was just one of those things. I wouldn't really change a whole lot. There was when our quarterback got hurt, it was a called run play, and we just didn't make the block, and a kid, grabbed him from behind, pulled him down. But that's just a football play, and the same with our linemen the next week. Sometimes like I've had. There's a year a kid in 7-on-7. He probably shouldn't have been in there, and was in there and ends up breaking his collarbone, and that was super frustrating. But last season it just was one of those things where it just we just ran into a little stretch of bad luck, but it's kind of just football.
Right. I was gonna say, I mean, that's the game, is that that kind of thing can happen.
Sure.
Yeah. But where do you think, going into this year compared to last year's team, where do you think you've improved the most as a team?
Oh, that's a good question. It just seems like everything is running so much smoother. Kids understand there's the expectation was always there. It's just I think that we're just ahead of schedule. They know what our expectations are, what we're asking for, and just things seem to we're getting a lot more accomplished in our time just because we've spent so much time together and we know each other. So.
Yeah.
Also, I know Adam's normally been asking this question.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we've asked everybody so far, favorite football player of all time or favorite NFL player of all time?
Oh, that's easy for me. I would give anything to sit down on a Sunday and watch Barry Sanders run the football. Just he's so electric. I'm a former running back, and so I just think that they don't make. There's a lot of great running backs, but they just don't make Barry Sanders type players very often. So he'll always be special to me. And what's awesome about it is he was a Lion.
Yeah.
So I got to be here in Michigan and just I got to wear the jersey and go to the games and just loved watching them.
And for the people that it's crazy that people can grow up watching Barry Sanders and then they get Calvin Johnson later in life, because my generation is Calvin Johnson. That's when I kind of started to fall in love with football, just being able to throw it up to him. He's just going to go up there and get it.
Absolutely, yes. There's some good ones.
Yeah.
Now it's just about getting my son, who is 16 to. He's not 16 yet. I guess I'm rushing it. He's 15, but just getting him to. Hey, let's watch some YouTube. Let's watch some real football.
Yeah.
Let's watch a real running back.
And I feel like Barry Sanders is that guy, because you even hear Jahmyr Gibbs talks about he didn't grow up a Lions fan, but he grew up a Barry Sanders fan, just watched those highlights constantly. And it's that I feel is one player that does translate to modern day football, where it's just you won't see anything like this in the modern day league. It's really cool.
Absolutely.
So you guys are going to be taking on Onsted week 1, first meeting between the two schools since 2015. How you guys have opened the season against Lumen the last couple of years.
Yep.
How did Onsted come about now to being the new week 1 opponent?
It was kind of one of those things where with Lumen and Herb and the AD, we just really never communicated about, do we want to continue this? I wasn't opposed to it, but I will be honest, it really led to some great off-season, because you're going against a possible state champion and the previous state champion. So you were definitely going to get the kids were buying in, but them being, they bumped up to Division 6, but they're still, population-wise at Division 7.
Right.
And we're up to 5, so it just became less of a benefit for us.
Especially now with how the points are.
Yep. So I think I just kind of fell off, honestly. And then it's just about searching. We searched. AD at Onstead he was I coached. It was Damian Hiram, who was a head coach at Michigan Center, and I was his JV coach when he was the head coach. So know Damian and just kind of reached out and caught him at a good time where they were in between, and just kind of worked it out. It's a change. They're a Division VI school. So we had to make sure we got somebody with a little bit, but I could tell you when we reached out, there was not a lot of options. And if there was anybody available at the time that we were reaching out, it was probably for all the wrong reasons. People just, they were available because nobody wanted them. So
Yeah.
Well, but we're excited for it.
What's it gonna be? What's will be the key to getting your guys ready to open the season, start 1-0?
I just think just being clean. We just got to just make sure that we're, all the little things. I mean, we're going to play. We got skill. We're going to be able to do some awesome things, but it's just avoiding a horrible second quarter or, coming out and, just giving up a big play and seeing how the kids, react to it. So, one thing I noticed even in a 7-on-7 recently was we played amazing first two games. The third game we should have been, it should have been very, fortunate for us, and we just dropped an egg and we just looked flat. So, same kind of thing carries over. Can you play 4 good quarters of football? Which is hard early on, but I think this group's capable of it, so that'll be our expectation.
Michigan Center opening the season against Onstead. Head coach Troy Allen for the Cardinals. Coach, thank you.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Welcome back here on JTV. Thanks to Dan Gallagher today for joining the show. Appreciate it. One of my favorite guests. Always fun to talk to him.
Yeah, he talked about everything, like you said in the open. Talked about his Airbnb and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't have on the bingo card.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And thanks to Michigan Center head coach Troy Allen. Really interested to watch the Cardinals this season. They had battled a lot of injuries last year. And lost some close games. Really battled some big injuries the last couple of seasons. So interested to watch Michigan Center this year. We'll have them week 2 on JTV hosting Columbia Central. So with football coming up next week, that means we'll have our first game picks next Wednesday.
Man, bragging rights and everything. I'm the defending champ. So
Yep.
Got to make sure you're going to dethrone me this year.
Yep. So you won the picks. I had to wear the Lions jersey.
That's right.
But then I won the game.
That's right. So maybe that's a good luck charm. Maybe the Lions had some good luck for you.
Does that even it out or no?
Close. It's close. It's close.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to showing you one more. I believe we have one more Media Day interview next week on the show. So couple of big things on the show next week. Plus, we'll get to our game picks for week 1. So JTV.TV, Center for Family Health scoreboard, and our orthopedic rib specialist photo gallery. So thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Thank you to everybody else on our staff here at JTV for preparing for year 26 of high school football. So got a big show next week. Looking forward to it. Talk to you then.
Bye-bye.